Hi, I'm Shaylin Hayes of East Coast Designs, and I am the owner and designer for East Coast Designs. And today we are going to be discussing how to maintain your website. Websites are a little difficult for beginners to understand sometimes, but part of my ethos as a company is that I want to empower you to own your own website. Now, I understand why a lot of designers don't have the time to do this, and I don't necessarily think they're trying to keep you from your project, but I do believe that the best for the client and the designer is when the client has the tools to maintain their property moving forward. This is your business, and you are the best person to maintain and take care of it. Now, to start, I think we should talk about some basic terms. The first I'm going to mention is a domain name. Now, a domain name is this up here in your browser. As you can see, the domain for this is sample.eastcoast-coast. As you can see, the domain for this is sample.east-coast.ca. Now, this is kind of my hosting ground, and the sample is technically an add-on domain, but you don't need to know that. For example, for WebSavers, it's clients.websavers.ca for this part. And that moves us on to our next term, which is a host. Now, the domain address is your address. It is where things point to. It is your name. It is what you are. But you also need the files and the storage, and that's where hosting comes in. And I work with WebSavers, and they are a company in Atlantic, Canada. They are located in Halifax, and you can see their services here. Let me see. And they have several hosting services, and they're a really great company, honestly. Now, you will likely only need the carbon plan if you have one domain. If you want to have multiple sites and grow later, you will need titanium. Helium is for quite small sites. I don't normally recommend that. That is for websites that are basically just a staging ground. So the carbon, which is from $3 a month, is most likely what you are going to need for your project. And usually when you work with a website, you've already been set up through this. You may have been asked to register for the plan, but I do think it is important that we go over that this is your host, this is where your files live. And when you see in here the shared hosting, these are where all the websites are going to be. There is a control panel down here, and when you open that, that is where all your websites are going to be. Now, if you have the carbon plan, it will only be one website, which makes it a little bit easier to manage. And you can see the east-coast.ca right there, which is where this sample site is going to be. And you can see it has lots of settings. It has usage, it has logs. And right in here is where the files of your website are going to actually live. And now for the sample site, it's actually a subdomain, so it's in here. And these are all the bones of your website. This is what tells your website what to do. Any pictures that are uploaded are even in here. If I keep clicking, you can see all the pictures on the site. You can even kind of get a preview from your file. This is where everything you've put on your website goes to live. Now, there's a third component which can be a little hard to consider because we've already talked about so much, and that is your database. Now, the files, the actual files, live in that folder I just showed you, and the database is another component, but that's kind of where all the tech jargon comes in, and you hopefully will never have to edit your database. It's a little more technical, and this is for a random site, and you can see that it's kind of like just all the text files, and the database tells the files what to do. They work together, and then all of this is shown on a domain name, which, as you can see, is right here, and it all comes together to show your website. And now this is just a sample website that I've made to teach you how to edit your website. And there are two different types of websites I make. Well, technically three. One is a regular WordPress site, and you can change your theme to anything and it will still display. That's what this is right here. It's just a run-of-the-mill, bare bones website. And it is made with WordPress Classic, not the new block editor. That is a very important fact. Now, the new block editor is not bad, but I just find it's a bit limiting for new clients to learn. So we're going to stick to something simple because the idea is to empower you and your business. So now I'm just going to turn this on so that as we start kind of showing you things, you can see my mouse more as you learn to edit. Now, this is our sample site, and like I said, it is the first type of site that we do. Now I'm going to go to my website. Let's see, did I get it right off the top of my head? This is the second type of site I make, and my own website is made with this because I love this theme. Now, this is a theme for WordPress, and it's called Mesmerize Pro. And Mesmerize Pro can be done as a multi-page design or a one-page design. And what that means is, when it's a one-page design, see if I click portfolio, it would actually just take me down to a portfolio on this page. And if you've purchased a one-page design, you will likely have this Mesmerize Pro theme. And I personally love Mesmerize Pro because it's beautiful, it's simple, it's easy to edit. It is just a little bit different than this sample website, which is your run-of-the-mill WordPress. The difference with Mesmerize Pro is you cannot just change your theme out of nowhere. And that does sound unfortunate, but it gives you a very streamlined design. It is easier to be concise and beautiful, but you are stuck with this theme. Now, this is great for one-page designs because one-page designs, they're really not something to update because they're basically your picture, your content, and you don't really change how the appearance looks a lot. Now, for this site, you might want to change the theme and you want to change up the way it looks and all your content changes. That's easy to do. For a one-page design, you don't necessarily need to do that. Now, if you have the Mesmerize Pro theme and it isn't a one-page design and you want to change your theme, that is possible. Some things might break depending on how it was made. Personally, I would err to the side of keeping it how it is. If you want something that you want to change and update often, I would not go with a Mesmerize Pro design for your needs, and that is obviously something that we probably discussed before making your website. And hopefully by now you're past that and you just want to know how you can update the site that you already have. Okay, so the third site is a website that also has Elementor. And Elementor we can even add to this sample site because Elementor is something that actually works on multiple sites, and Elementor is something that we might have used on your website if you wanted something a little different, if you wanted something that is unique, easily editable, just kind of outside of the basic theme, because WordPress kind of comes as a theme. And as you can see, this is how we set up Elementor. I'm just skipping everything right now because none of this matters. So the third type of site you could have, as I've said, is an Elementor site, which is technically just a regular site that also has Elementor. And now you can see this is still our sample website, but it now has a separate part for publishing. Kind of clicking around here, giving you an idea. You can do a lot of things with Elementor, but some of it is a bit more advanced. It was probably already set up. Now, what we want to talk about first is how to log in and edit your website. So I'm just going to show you how to log in another tab. Now this is your website that the public will see. Click around on the pages, they have no access to anything. Now, you will add wp-login.php to the end of whatever your site is to log in. I will give you this link as well, but if you ever forget it, it is just your site and then this part right here. Press enter. And for this site, I've just come up with a sample password because it is a sample site. And the admin, you will be given the username. It will probably be your email address, and the password will be a basic one to start, which you can reset later in your settings. And there you go, you're now signed in, which took us to this dashboard. Now I'm just going to close this guest window. And the dashboard has lots of information. We just installed Elementor in this video, and you can hide things, see screen options, get rid of some stuff. You don't need all this. You might have more things the more plugins you have, depending on what your site has. But the basic thing you might want to do is edit a page. Now I'm going to visit site while logged in. Let's say I want to edit the About Us page to have a phone number. So you can see there's a little edit button down here, but not every theme will have that. So you will go up to the top and click Edit Page, and then it'll bring you to this page, which you can also add a featured image, which usually will come up in Google or on Facebook, and social media. So there's your featured image down there. I'll put the little cursor. And as you can see, we're now into the page. You can also change it to password protected if you wanted. You can unpublish or delete pages. So you can see here. Now to add to the page, say, let's just put a random phone number, like a fake one. And you can put, say, phone number, and maybe you want it to be bold. For there, make it look good, and say you want to add an email address too. Let's just, I'm just gonna put my email. We have lots of typos today. So see, you add this, then you can press update, and then there's going to be a view page thing here. And now you can see in most themes that picture I added will now be at the top of the page. Some it's not. This will depend on your website. You can just ask me if you want to know if your site is supposed to have this. Some do, some don't. Some just have it for the blog page. So there you go. There's now a phone number and an email address on this page. Now blogs are not complicated. They are basically the same thing, but you can press this new post at the top, and there you can put your title, and we'll just go with new blog posts. I'm just going to kind of copy and paste this so it looks like it's a long post. And then you can add categories. And let's say our category is news. And then you can add tags if you'd like. That's up to you. You can also search by tags on your website, but you do not need them. And a featured image to show at the top. And let's find something on the computer. Let's see. Just a random stock image. There we go. This'll do. There's your featured image. Now everything is done. That says on categories right now, but it should update once I publish it to be news. Just press post when you're done and you're ready. Go to view post. And I want to point out you can also access this from the sidebar over here. And as you can see pages, all this, templates, appearance, posts. Some of this is a bit more advanced, but a lot of it you can edit yourself. Here we go. Here's our blog post. There's our title. There's our image. And in this theme, it's kind of got like an admin thing over here. Not every theme has this. This just depends on what your website was. Then your content will be down here. Comments here if they are enabled. And this is a sidebar. You can have advertisements, and we're going to move on to the sidebar now because you can see it displays on the side of your page. And if you want to edit your sidebar, you go to just kind of highlight the name and go to widgets. As you can see, there's a search widget and a text. Now let's add an image to the sidebar, and it's really easy because you just go over here and you drag what you want to add. You click add image, and let's say just another random image. Maybe you want to put an ad on your bar. Ads are a great way to show people your product or your service, or, you know, make a little money from another business. That depends on what your interests are. So let's just see, we will do just this main ad. As you can see, if you want it to be an ad, you're going to want to see these attachment display settings. You can see custom URL here. Then you just put in the URL, and we're going to use this since it's an ad for this business. Put it in here. Choose your size. You can do full size or 300 to 300. If there's not enough space, it will auto make it the space needed. Then once you click accept, click save. Like go back in here, update, save. I'm just re-showing you because I went through it pretty fast because it's so second nature. And then if you want to view it on the site, you go here, just kind of highlight this little home guy and visit site. And there you go, the ad is there. Let's click it. And now it is working and it's taking us to the other website. There we go. So that is how to edit a page, how to make a blog post, how to do your sidebar and add to it. Now let's look at this. To edit this, you just do the same thing here. Oh, that's edit page, see? Let's go into the post and click edit post. There you go, you can make all these edits. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to edit your web page if you have the setup of using Mesmerize Pro. This is a little bit different, but still not hard. You will be learning how to use the customizer, which you can also use on a basic site. As you can see, we can do background, we can change our logo and our title look. There's a quick menu setting. Change the header image. The header is here on this theme. It is not the same on every theme though. Change kind of your colors, like, so you can see we can make our colors whatever we want in this theme. Different themes have different colors available. But the difference is with Mesmerize Pro, the customizer actually has a lot of things. For the next part of our tutorial, we are going to be discussing Mesmerize Pro. And this is if you have a one-page design for your website. So I am going to be using my wedding website because it is a one-page site and it's one that I can kind of edit and play around with because it belongs to me and I didn't want to edit any client sites. And it takes a bit to set up, so I didn't do a sample site like I did for the more basic because these sites do take quite a bit of work to kind of get just right. So without further ado, here is a one-page site. As you can see, it is just one page all the way down. This nice little bar that'll just shoot you right back to the top. Now, the way a one-page website works is, as it sounds, it's one page instead of multiple pages. It's great for galleries. It's great for a more modern feel. It's great if you have a landing page and you don't want to send people to a million pages because your website's not that complicated. It's just your business page. It's showing your services. It's showing who you are. And it's just giving them the information without really overwhelming them. So as you can see, if you click video here, it just takes you right down to the first part. And for this, I always recommend, and if I did design it, of course, it will be in order unless you have a very specific reason not to. Now you click this, it goes to registry, go back up, album of course, and right down here to contact. And I love this because of the sheet backup feature. It's quick, it's simple, it's elegant. And as you can see, it's great for galleries. Now, what you want to know probably is, what if you want to edit something on this page and you don't want to pay me to do it again, which I totally understand because look, these costs add up. What if you want to change your contact information? What if you want to change a few pictures or remove a few? That is totally understandable, and you shouldn't have to really come to me for everything. This is your site, you should own it. But first I do want to point out how this works. As you can see up here, see this nice little number sign and then registry? That is basically like a page, but instead it anchors it to a part on one page. And in your menus, you can see your little anchors are right here. This is going to be important just as I show you the sections once we get into Mesmerize. You can find menus under Appearance and Menu. So if you ever did want to add to menu, you can find it there. You can even add custom links, like say you want to add a link to another website. You can do that here and then just say, we'll add this to the menu just to prove that you can do it. Do that there, and click save. There we go. And let's refresh here. So you can see web design is now added. I'm going to delete that though because my wedding website does not need to be a business link. Save that. Now, to edit these websites, it's a page builder, but it's a built-in page builder. It's not a specific special one. So once you're logged in, you log in the same way you do before. If it's a basic simple site, that wordpress.login.php, your username and password. Now when you're on the page, you'll see this customize button right there. Now the customizer is way more advanced for Mesmerize Pro than it is for the basic site that I showed you before. Everything is done through this customizer, which depending on your needs can feel more advanced or more simple, because this does add way more control for the layman's person without having to know the ins and the outs of specific design. But it did take a bit of work to get it set up in the first place. But as you can see, once you're on the page, it's very easy to just edit the content without having to go into specific pages. For example, I'm clicking on the pictures here. There's gallery, there's pictures, I click, and then right here I see the gallery. Like say there's a picture now I don't like, I can look through it and I can say, okay, I don't want that bouquet there anymore. And if I click update gallery, it'll just be gone. And then I click publish, everything's gone. I didn't actually get rid of it because I don't want to. But as you can see, these right here, these little number signs underneath, these are what you're seeing in your menu. So that contact -1 with the number sign, that is this part. And now if you click this little wheel here, you can do section settings, add an element, say I want to have more text here, I just click that, have text. Like, see, we add this to it. You can do this all on your own. But now, what if you find that text is hard to read? Let's just click change background. See the background overlay? And like, we can adjust this all on our own. You could remove it, change the background, just by using these little settings right in here. Remember to click publish when you're done. Now remember, you do not have to edit specific posts or pages on this because it is done in sections. If you want to add a section, you just click this. Like, see, we added an overlappable to the top. We just design it. You can get rid of things easily. See this watch the ceremony? What if we want an actual background? Change background. Choose between color, gradient, or type. Say we want an image. I'm gonna put the hands there. Look, we can even change the opacity so that you can see the text. Really, the sky is the limit. I'm actually going to keep this because I really like it. Click publish and it'll be changed. And all you have to do to change text on this type of website is once you're in this customize, you just click, edit it, click publish. It is quite simple. It's why I love this for one-page designs. It's very intuitive. And if you do have any problems, of course, you can always come back and ask me. As you can see, it's quite easy to make these changes. And maybe even fun. I'm actually going to keep these changes that I've made because I kind of like them. So that is how you edit a one-page design. Now we're also going to stay in this website because I want to teach you how to update plugins. Now once you're in your dashboard, which same thing, you log in like before, just ignore this, it's inviting us to the new WordPress. This will show at the top if you need to upload a new plugin or update them. You will only need to upload if it is something that does not have an automatic updater. Most things do, some do not. Now when you click this nice little almost recycling thing, you will see the plugins or the themes that you need to update, and all you do is click select all and update. You can also do the same for updating WordPress. Now, don't do this at a time when your website's really busy. You want to do this early in the morning or late at night, depending on your needs, because it will make your website a little slow at the time. As you can see, this is updated. It tells you it's done. You just go back to the plugins page or exit it, whatever your preference. If you're done, you're done. And whenever there's an update, you should do it because it's a security issue not to. So if you've logged into your site and you see that little thing, you should update it. Some websites do have an option for automatic updates. You can, by all means. I don't like to in case there's a problem and things break. Now, these are the two main types of websites that we do discuss. And it was really great just kind of letting you know how to maintain your own website. If you have any other questions, of course, always contact me at shaylin@eastcoastdesigns.ca. But this should give you the bare bones and the ability to update your site for your own needs.